So we've talked extensively about how well Oklahoma has done both recruiting and in the transfer portal, but last night they suffered a loss in their class of 2023 from a player who ranks within the top 200 players in all of high school football, as Ashton Cozart has flipped from the Oklahoma Sooners to the Oregon Ducks. Today, we need to break down what this all means, what this means for the Oklahoma Sooners, what this means for the Oregon Ducks, and why we need to keep an eye on what's happening in Eugene. Before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I need to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Y for yes, N for no. Are you surprised that Cozart has flipped from Oklahoma to Oregon? And let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed this content, like and comment down below as those interactions are massive. But having said that, let's jump right into this because this is a topic that we need to unpack. And first and foremost, we need to talk about what this means for the Oklahoma Sooners, as Oklahoma has been doing fantastic work both on the trail and in the transfer portal. Brent Venables has hit the ground running, and it seemed pretty likely that something like this was going to happen with Brent Venables' policy about if you're committed to the Oklahoma Sooners, you're not taking visits elsewhere, and if you do, we might have to rethink your level of commitment to this team. Once Cozart announced that the visit was confirmed to Oregon, many believed this was an inevitability, but with that, where does this leave the Oklahoma Sooners? And two things. First and foremost, Oklahoma feels really good about where their wide receiver room is right now, and that doesn't mean that you don't continue to recruit that position. Y'all know me at this point. I talk about recruiting until my face is blue and the importance of being able to amass depth and quality depth, and a great way to do that is through recruiting. As great as the transfer portal is, recruiting allows you to be able to mold a prospect and have their full eligibility. But having said that, Oklahoma's work in the transfer portal has been really, really good. We have talked about that, and it reigns true now, and maybe even more so in this situation. Because even though I just said you want to continue recruiting, stacking depth because you get that full eligibility, the last two wide receiver wins Oklahoma got out the transfer portal are individuals that still have eligibility left, but have also shown proven production on the other side. Really key victories, and that's why I went so far as to highlight both of those wins for the Oklahoma Sooners, because really they give you a rare thing in the transfer portal. Somebody that has experience but still has plenty of eligibility left. That's the perfect storm, and because of that, when you look at the situation Oklahoma finds themselves in now, where a top player in the class of 2023 has just flipped from their class at the wide receiver position, though you're going to continue recruiting the wide receiver position, you look at the work you've done in the transfer portal and the weapons you got out of last class and you feel comfortable. I mean, we already saw what Jaden Gibson can do as he continues to develop. There's Nico Anderson. He's going to be another name we need to keep an eye on as he continues to develop. But then you add in the two additions out the transfer portal and you're really creating a complete room. My other point for the Oklahoma Sooners has to do with the timing in all of this, because it's May. Summer is just around the corner. We're about to see a lot more visits kick off, a lot more events, and so Oklahoma has ample time to be able to continue recruiting the wide receiver position. This flip didn't occur in December, a week before National Signing Day, when the pressure is at a exponentially higher degree. This happened in May, where you have all summer to keep looking, you have all fall to keep looking, and really you have until next February to continue looking for that position if you don't nab all the talent you would like during National Signing Day. So suffice to say, you have time. But what about Oregon? What does this mean for the Oregon Ducks, and why do I think we need to watch Eugene? Well, first and foremost, for Oregon, they get a top 200 wide receiver in. Something that's going to be necessary, because we know Dan Lanning is going to bring a defensive ferocity to Eugene, coming from Georgia. He's going to try and establish an SEC culture in the Pac-12. And the Pac-12, in and of itself, is an intriguing league this next season. There's been a lot of drama introduced into the league, and inevitably, more eyes are going to be watching it, seeing what happens. Do I think they're going to be a lock for playoffs or national championship? I don't believe so. I think that there will be improvements in the Pac-12, but I also think that there's a ways to go before they can hit that level, and that's not a shot at them. That's just the realities of the situation when you look at the teams that are on top, how long they've been able to stack talent, how long they've been able to continue it. There's a reason, because they've been doing it for years on end, and it's very hard to break through off of 1 year. But I digress off of that. Inevitably, Oregon is going to be trying to build a culture that's a little bit unique in the Pac-12. But the one thing we need to watch and see, because we know Dan Lanning is a defensive guy. He has a defensive identity. What's your offense going to look like? What's that part of your team going to look like? Are you going to be able to hang with the USCs in scoring? And if you can do that, all of a sudden we're looking at the Oregon Ducks in a completely different fashion. But being able to hang with the USCs means you have got to get in offensive talent. And part of that means guys like Ashton Cozart have got to be a priority. I think another thing that helped Oregon, and once again, guys, everything we're talking about in this video is purely my opinion. This is purely me analyzing the situation from the outside. But I think another thing that really helped Oregon was Cozart's familiarity with the Pacific Northwest. He's from that area, and maybe getting back there was something he always kind of wanted to do, and this opportunity presented itself. So that's going to be something we have to watch, because if Oregon can build an offense, they're really going to be a thorn in USC's side, and I can't wait to watch those battles anyways. You have Dan Lanning, who just fielded a ferocious defense with Georgia, and you have Lincoln Riley, who's regarded as a top offensive mind in college football, battling it out. You can sign me up for that. That's the whole reason we love football. But this is a situation where if you're Oregon, great win for the Oregon Ducks, getting in a top 200 offensive weapon, someone that I think the Oregon fan base is going to be very excited about, and deservedly so. We know Oregon is going to have some semblance of a ferocious defense. We wonder what that offense is going to be, but getting in guys such as Cozart makes it easier to envision that offensive being successful. And for the Oklahoma Sooners, I think you have two things going for you right now. First and foremost, it's May. Your events haven't even started during the summer. The Champ U barbecue hasn't even happened yet. You have ample time to be able to add in other guys. The other area I think you have going for you is, one, what you got in last year's wide receiver class, who are individuals that I think can translate, especially when you look at Jeff Lebby and how he likes to utilize bigger wide receivers. I think they're going to be a plug and play once they get the system down. We do need to remember, Lebby's system is quite difficult, so it could take a while, but as I've said, be very surprised if we don't see red zone packages for Gibson at least. And then the other thing, I think what you've done in the transfer portal has afforded you this loss, where you can lose on an Ashton Cozart and your reaction be, oh, well, that's unfortunate. Would have loved to have him. But we got great pieces out the transfer portal that not only afford us production, they also afford us more eligibility, and that is a little bit unique in terms of the transfer portal. So hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about this. I think Oregon is a team we have to watch. The Pac-12 is going to have a certain level of intrigue, and you can bet your bottom dollar I'll be watching. But now I'm really interested in hearing from y'all. That's it. See ya.